broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to another Bachelor After Show. I feel it. Don't you feel it?
I do feel it.
All right, guys, I'm sure you're ready for a fantastic new show, but don't forget to subscribe. Go to our channel on youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV, TV, or listen to us over on iTunes and SoundCloud. We love to hear your feedback. And, of course, you can tweet us at #ABTVBachelor. But before we go any further, I actually have to introduce myself. I'm your host, JC Rubio. You can find me on Twitter at JCRubioTV. But, of course, I am joined, but we got to stop because this is a big change tonight.
You guys are missing half of your panel that you're usually used to listening to, and I'm sorry.
No, Danny's at the Super Bowl. And Kathy and Lauren, I guess, have a case of the flu. I think they're all on a group date. That's just my thinking. They're on a group date at the Super Bowl with Danny. That's big hello to Danny, Kathy, and Lauren. I hope you all feel good. And Danny, get back home soon. Yes.
Love Lauren to the panel.
Yes, she's fantastic. Great addition. But a blast from the past, our relationship intimacy expert. We all know her. Ladies and gentlemen,
Jenna Couture, thank you.
And Jenna, where can they find you?
I am on Twitter, love Twitter, at JennaTimeTweets.
Fantastic. So, let's dig in. Was this the greatest episode in Bachelor history? Thoughts?
They came really close.
Really?
I loved it. I'm loving Chris's season, though. I don't think it's boring at all.
Okay, so this is good. This is why we've done so many of these.
I've seen all the comments. People are not loving it. I love it.
What about it?
I love that Chris can't come out with a functional sentence. I love that he just kisses when he feels awkward, and he just lets these ladies attack him.
They're saying, what is that saying? When there's superfluous talk, you stop it with a kiss.
Yeah.
And Chris is an expert at it.
Yeah, and I feel, in defense of Chris, that's getting, these women aren't just passively waiting for him to kiss them. They are aggressively seeking him to kiss. So It's not like he's just like jumping on all these women. They're like jumping on him, and he's like, sure, okay. He's like, he's not going to pull back. It's so hard to pull back from a kiss, especially once you're midway, Yeah,
no, and this is what's always been great about you. For our fans tuning in for the first time or haven't seen previous seasons, what you were really fantastic at is really measuring like their body language and what do you call it?
Kissing is when you start actually feeling a chemical reaction, right? So it's like the chemistry might not be there quite yet, but a kiss can change everything. So I don't judge Chris at all for making out with everybody because it could change. You could, trigger that chemical reaction and, things really start going.
So there'll be no kiss slut shaming here tonight?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So, and also we did find out that what Ashley does whenever she gets shy, she makes out with him. And who would have known that Chris can waltz? He can dance.
I don't know if he can really waltz. Was he really waltzing? I think he was stumbling.
A little bit.
I don't mind it. I'm not going to waltz-hate either.
Okay, so, well, let's start off, of course, I'm a little jaded. I've done 30 seasons of this show, and I know it's usually 2 dates and a group date. 2 one-on-one dates and a group date. And you might throw in a 2-on-1 date, but this season, with the addition of Kimmel last week, and this week we get...
You're changing it up this year.
We get
big time.
2 group dates.
Yeah.
Chris Harrison, you're throwing me off already, man.
I know.
But
I like it.
But you get his sisters to come in.
Awesome.
And how great was what I want to call Jadarella, which we'll get into a little bit later. The Jadarella date. Well, it's cross-promotion, yes, I get it, we know, but it was still, you get to be a princess for a day. Who doesn't want to be that?
Who doesn't want to be
what
that?
What female?
But you know what? You're jumping ahead because I'm so glad with all their one-on-ones, Jade seemed like the perfect fit for that date. She wasn't so like in your face, like
Right.
I'm gonna win this. I just want this because of Chris. Like she was like, I'm shy. I have some things going on. I would like to explore that with Chris. We haven't really got a lot of time. And I think those sisters heard that and said, well, she seems like she's got a good head on her shoulder. She's got a lot of, I didn't know she had all of that, those extra business.
Or the organic
businesses
makeup
on
line.
the
Yeah,
side.
I was just teasing it. I just wanted to touch upon it, and then
you
we'll
were
come
jumping
back.
ahead, and I was reeling you back in.
I can't get
Jumpsies.
not even with Jenna can get away with anything. So well, then let's start from the beginning. Let's start from the get.
Please.
All right, let's talk about the group date. It is, what is it? Let's do what is it? What feels natural.
Right? I love this date. I
Why?
personally love being at the lake camping. I think it's a great date to kind of be a little more natural instead of being all foofed up like these girls have been. I think it was really funny that these girls like kept fake eyelashes on and were
Yes.
bronzing and still reapplying lipstick. I can see lip balm, but like, you know, the whole point of being at the lake and being in the sun is, you know,
So it was
kind of
lost.
let loose.
Well, and then I guess there was a mini meltdown. We had Kelsey, who was not having it at all.
She was showing some true colors this one.
Yes. Do we have our villain? Perhaps we're starting to see the inclination, the possible edit of villainous type.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely see, you know, I thought after last week with Caitlin's date, where Chris was like, you know, it was really great that Caitlin could be anywhere and, you know, we could be at Costco and she could, you know, still have fun with this date. And you could tell Caitlin really was having fun. And I was like, yeah, but I was thinking actually as I was cleaning my kitchen last night, I was like, well, who wouldn't have a good time? Like, who wouldn't go with the flow? And then we saw tonight and it's like, you know what? You've got to make the best of whatever situation was. And I just don't, Kelsey was not. She was so visibly upset that it was, and then so different with him.
Well, and how's that going to work? He's an outdoorsy type. This is the whole reason why
Lives on
we're
a farm.
Yes, does not bode well for her. And of course, people making a big deal about Caitlin in the moment and decides to moon everyone there. And
You know, I think that was, I
Was
don't
it
like
needed?
moments like that, you know. I
Okay.
just felt like that was, you know, bringing, you know, that could have just been her, but I think that was like begging for the moment.
okay, so it was a little gratuitous.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
like, I'm going to do something, I'm going to one-up these girls, but it's working, obviously.
Okay, all right.
You know?
But I know we're delaying the fact because I should have worded it as tent gate. I kept hearing about tent gate. Oh my gosh! And last week we even asked the
so
fans.
excited about Tent Gate.
Yeah, we asked the fans who's going to get in that tent. What's going
Explain Tent Gate to all the listeners because I wasn't sure what Tent Gate was.
Yeah, it's in reference to Watergate from about
Scandal.
the Watergate scandal from 40 years
I
ago.
love that reference, Tent Gate.
Yeah, but nothing. I mean, okay, I don't want to say nothing. We were just I was expecting something else. I thought someone was going to have sex with Chris. That's what I thought. And well, we did
I definitely thought that they were, and I was like, man, the producers got me again. They were
They
like
do that.
cutting and pasting moans and sticking them in the tent and putting, you know, they always do that. They chop up the season, you know, the preview.
Yeah.
So bad to where it's like you kind of are anticipating something. And it turns out to be nothing like that.
Yeah, no, and basically it was Ashley once again inferring to the fact that she is a virgin, and of course she woke Chris up.
She made that such a big deal.
Yeah, and I don't want to get into it just yet because I think it's a night and day difference between her and Becca. And we'll get into that in a second. But poor Chris. First Kimmel, now Ashley. He's just getting bombarded, half asleep, and they're hitting him. And you know, Chris, we get on him because he doesn't like to complete sentences, we'll say.
No, he wasn't. He's not good at that, but it's so endearing. I mean, it's so hard. I have to put myself in his situation. If I was with 30 guys, I couldn't be like charismatic and putting all my sentences together. I love the bachelors that can do that, that are well, well spoken. But
Sean Lowe.
and like amazing at their speeches, but it's like, they can't always be picture perfect, and I'm okay with that.
I don't think it's that he can't articulate himself. I think what it is he's just truly, really too nice of a guy. And
Are
he
you
has a
saying he's
difficult-
daft? Like he's like nice and slow?
No,
What are you saying?
No,
Are you-
I'm not saying that at all. No, he's just trying to do the right thing. He puts so much pressure on himself to have the right thing come out of his mouth,
Do you think
and
the thoughts are
unfortunately,
in
nothing
there?
comes out.
Do you think the thoughts are in there?
Yes, because he had a few moments tonight, I thought.
Yeah.
Later,
yeah,
and
we
towards
sound good.
towards the towards the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll get into that. But anything come out of that date from Ashley? The fact that she revealed that nothing was gonna go on. I mean that she's a virgin.
I don't know why she put that was like a beg the moment, like, and it was just like not needed, not in conversation. Just thought you needed to tell him in the middle of the night that you're not a virgin in his tent. He's like half asleep. He's clearly not awake.
Right.
He's like, what is going on here?
Yeah, no, it's just more of the same. I'm telling you, Chris is gonna. We're giving him such a hard time, but I think it's gonna turn around at some point in the season. You're gonna see this other side. We saw it last season in Bachelorette.
Oh yeah, we did.
We did. So, and then I failed to mention that actually Caitlyn ended up getting the rose.
Yes.
That day.
And you know what's so funny is they were putting up those tents, and I was thinking they had to, like, they were in their bikinis the whole time. Are these girls not allowed to put clothes on? Because I feel like all of them eventually get to a point where they're either all clothed or all in bikini mode. And I feel like they're told, like, if possible, can you, keep your clothes off? Can you put the tent up and you're just the bikini?
Of course.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, but
These girls are troopers.
okay. I thought the tent gate was a red herring.
Yep.
To the point was Ashley being a virgin, but I think it was setting it up an Ashley-centric episode so that we'd move on to the next phase, which was the sisters interview, which we briefly touched upon,
Yes.
which I'm sure producers knew, okay, this girl wants to be Cinderella, and they knew that if Ashley didn't get this date, that she was going to go, pardon me.
Bananas.
Yes, thank you for saving me on that one. you knew it.
They, you know what though? I'm so glad she didn't get the date because I think that it would have been hellacious. I feel like she would have been like the evil sister getting ready, just flaunting it in everyone's face. And I think she needed a little piece of humble pie.
What's that?
Like I feel like Jade truly appreciated it. She didn't lord it over anyone's face. She took it. She wasn't thinking, like she wasn't like, this date was for me. Like it was so much Ashley just like, this was for me. This date was supposed to be for me. And then her dressing up in her princess gown. It was like, oh my God, how old is she?
I'll say she's in her 20s.
She's like under 22, right?
Jade?
No, Ashley.
No, Ashley 20s as well.
Yeah.
No, but let's get into the fact, okay, the whole premise. Now, wouldn't this be like the dream date for a woman?
Oh my goodness. I was thinking, me too, Ashley. On one hand, I'm like, stop being so selfish. But I was like, that would be the perfect date. That would be really nice. I thought it was amazing. And
she got to keep the earrings. She got to keep the Louboutins.
The shoes. You weren't a fan of the dress?
No, it wasn't my favorite
JC,
part.
it was the first thing he knocked. I was like, JC.
It wasn't, okay, the thing was, just for the given moment, I thought I would have seen something more of a gown, like a ball.
Cinderella doesn't go strapless, for sure.
Okay.
You're right.
It did grow on me, but still not my favorite. I'm sorry. I love the shoes. I love the moment. I love everything else. The dress, I thought it would have been something more, like is it with a petticoat underneath? Is that right?
You're right, yeah.
Like a more bulbous dress, a more like a gown.
I kind of liked the sparkly one that was like gunmetal sparkles. Like it was really, really pretty. I would have gone glam sparkles, but
yes.
But she went with what was comfortable, and I think that she was, she was real refreshing to watch.
Well, see, and this is just our opinion. So, in a sense, wouldn't this just play more into Chris? Because he wants that. He's from a quiet life in Iowa, and he said the first thing he said about Jade was, "What I like about her that she's a quiet woman, and but he's quiet, she's quiet. So, how the conversation's going to be like that, in the dinner table?"
They seemed like they really kind of delved in.
Okay.
They did.
And we found out that they were both previously engaged.
I didn't know that Chris was engaged previously. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
It's such a blur for me after Bachelor in Paradise, Bachelorette, Bachelor in Space.
Because Chris was on all of those?
No, he wasn't on all of them, but I'm just saying. But overall,
7 years. That's a long time. I wonder what his like ex-fiance is thinking. I mean, that would be torturous if you hadn't moved on and your ex was the Bachelor.
Yeah, no. But
Oh my gosh, I think Jade came out on top on that one.
What would you grade the date?
You know, I didn't see like fireworks, but I think it's a slow build, like a slow burn. You know, like I don't think it's, you know, and those are kind of the ones. You know, it's always funny because in the beginning of The Bachelor, you see the people that have like that instant chemistry, and it's so rare that lasts the whole show because girls start coming out of the woodwork with their chemistry, and it's slower. And sometimes, I mean, like Catherine on Sean's.
Yeah.
Came right out of the woodwork. Like, I didn't see that the whole time.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm still wondering who... It's week 4, so we're starting to get into the real meat and potatoes of the season, I think.
Yeah.
So,
and I thought it was really sweet that Jade said that several times she has to like have the courage to stay there at the on The Bachelor, and I just thought that was so endearing because all these girls talk about how hard it is, and you know how beautiful all the other girls are, and how hard it is, the jealousy and things like that. But I just thought it was kind of endearing the way she's like, you know, I have to remind myself and try to give myself courage to stay here all the time, you know. And I was like, I love you, Jade from Nebraska.
she softened your heart. That's you gotta love it. And of course, let's talk about the dance at the end. I mean, he took her to a ball. We were already calling it. We were like, you were saying it's going to be live music, and I was saying it's going to be fireworks.
I thought it was going to be a concert, but it was a concert. It was an orchestra.
Yeah.
A full orchestra. I mean, it was beautiful. So, I mean, just like a perfect, wonderful date.
Okay, so my question to you was, do you think they really wrapped up the date at midnight?
Yeah.
No!
Yeah.
No way. Absolutely not. You know how this show is.
I don't think it was actually midnight, but they probably took the same car home. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they were, they had a...
Shenanigans on the whole thing?
Slight shenanigans. I'm saying they were done about 2 or 3 in the morning, just getting everything right. Let us know, if anyone knows, let us know when they actually finished that date. I always wondered, but it was just too... I'm going to give it an A-, just because I'm hard to please. I'm jaded tonight.
Yeah. You are jaded tonight.
I am sorry.
That's why you up.
That's why I have you here. I'm always protected by Kathy and Danny. See,
not tonight.
No, tonight it's all out.
And I also want to say that before, when like the sisters were there, because their talks, their one-on-ones with the girls, I thought that I saw a different shade of Carly too, because she kind of got emotional talking about how guys have never been nice to her, like no guy has ever been nice to her, and that she was kind of looking for a grandpa. And I just felt so sad for her in that moment because she's such a sweet, pretty girl. And it was so sad to me that she's not ever had it. I mean, we've all had crappy experiences, but to never have a good experience and to always be treated badly, I was so sad for her. And then Britt bragging about being front runner to his sisters.
Okay, so we're talking about the sisters' date and whatnot, everything all together.
Those were just those things that I got from that. And so it was just like those one-on-ones I feel like were kind of telling a little bit about some of the girls. I just saw a couple different shades, a little more depth with Carly. And then Britt, it was just kind of like, to be honest, I'm the front runner, and she,
So you're saying overconfident?
Yeah, and then to see it kind of go like, hey, no. They took the one that was more...
Okay, all right.
So, I don't know. Those were just 2 things I thought.
Now, to expand on what you said about Carly, I just thought it came just so quickly, too. Where she just started crying. I was like, whoa, that came out of nowhere. And she being, Zach's sister, so there's a lot of history there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, because I loved Zach.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, maybe so it spilled over to Carly.
Too.
Maybe it spilled over to Carly as well. So, and then next week they give us a tease. So there's many sides to Carly that are yet to be found. So we'll find out next week. So let's move on to the next date where Let's Get Dirty. This is day 2. And how did we go so wrong on this? How did we go wrong? First off, they get 6 beautiful wedding dresses, and they're on a private jet to San Francisco.
I know.
And they end up going to this...
so excited. It's going to be us
at
a table with him, all in our wedding dresses.
And then in Bachelor fashion, we find out it's kind of like a Spartan race, but it's all for good cause. Actually, it was the, what is it, Muckfest?
Muckfest for MS.
Yes.
You know what, though? I feel bad for these girls this season. They're having to do gross things. The goat's milk, running and grabbing a pig, and then, not that running and grabbing a pig pig is gross, but like just weird stuff. Like, that would suck. I mean, the muck at the fest, I think you could have fun with that. I would have tore my dress immediately. I would have ripped I would have been in, like, ripped everything. I would have deformed it immediately. Started, like, ripping.
Yeah, no, because I was going to say is that...
And I would have been intimidated with Jillian there.
How did we get that wrong? Okay, so while we're watching the show, I end up pausing it, and I tell Jenna, I'm like, okay, so who's going to win this thing?
I know, we're like, not Jillian, obviously, because she can't seem to win any competition.
Yeah, you had Becca, and I had Nikki for some reason, because for the first 3 weeks, we have nothing from Nikki, and I'm like, Nikki's going to come out of the blue. And
I thought she was going to come out of the woodwork, too, but I think Becca was the winner of this date, because Becca ended up being the one that Chris helped the most, and they got the most one-on-one time on the date. And they built their connection more. Becca, yeah.
We're talking about the one-on-one, the muck run.
Yeah. He went back to help her the most, and they got all that time together. And she's like, since I knew I wasn't winning, I just savored my time with him.
But we really didn't see it on air. Is that what you're saying? Or we saw a glimpse of it?
We saw her walking with him like 3 times.
Okay.
Were we watching the same show? I don't know.
Sorry, I was too busy taking notes.
So was I.
No, but what I was going to say is because you've always taught the fact that for love to build, and this is... going by what you just said about Becca, love is about teaching each other things.
Right?
And helping each other through situations.
Yep, and he went back and helped her.
Okay, very well said. Okay, I'll give you that. But we got it wrong, and of course, Jillian blew everyone out of the water. Wasn't even close.
Easy.
Yeah.
But she's got so much masculine energy, and Chris has masculine energy, so it's like that double, like, it's too much dude in the relationship.
Too much dude?
Way too much dude in the relationship. No. Yeah.
What?
Oh,
She's a fit woman.
I think we see that. That was a no.
Okay, so all right then, fine. Let's move on to the date. Nightfall at the Fairmont in San Francisco.
Who doesn't have a 3-second pitch on your 5-year plan? Come on.
Obviously, Jillian didn't.
Yeah.
No, but...
I thought, you know what was sad? Because I haven't been, like, the hugest fan of Jillian. Like, I just haven't...
Obviously.
I like her, but I wasn't like, go, Jillian. It was sad to me. I had a moment with her when she was like, you know, I have no friends. I had no friends. I had no life. I had nothing to do. I wasn't dating anyone. I was this big nerd. And then I just delved into fitness. And you can kind of see... Where do you look at it?
I'm thinking about unicorns and fairies right now. You're just way over my head right now.
Follow me. So she was talking about, like, I can see, like, as much as she's always working out and throwing that in people's faces, that's like her defense mechanism, because that's what she's got. You know, she doesn't have the friends to throw in your face. She doesn't have the cool life. She's not super pretty. She can't throw that in your face. But boy, does she have a banging body, and that's her ammo, man.
I think she's quite attractive. She's very fit and
like,
attractive.
Give me on a 1 to 10.
I'm sorry?
Stop being so PC. Give me a 1 to 10.
She's calling me out. Danny, Kathy, Lauren, where are you?
This is not E-News, okay? You can say what you think.
No, I think she's an attractive woman. I absolutely do.
You think she's attractive?
I can't because my girlfriend's watching. Now, with that said,
she's attractive too. I do too. I just think that I felt really sad for her in that moment, because I saw that as kind of her, you know, because they showed her working out so many times, and that's kind of her thing.
You know what I do want to say is this was a telling point in the season, and a telling point with Chris. We found out there that when he had to let her go, you could tell it was excruciating for him to just get those right words out to let her down easily. He
was using, like, the sandwich effect, but, like...
What is the sandwich effect?
The sandwich effect is when you have to give bad news, you top it with something very nice. So he's like, you're gorgeous, obviously, you know? And then he was like, but I don't see the chemistry here. And then he was like, but, you know, amazing body, you know, and you end it with something good. So you layer, you know?
Okay.
And so I felt like he was trying to layer a lot, but I was so proud of him, because that does show that he's just not in it to, you know, like, if he's not into making out with these girls or in it for the connection, he's going to send him home. And I'm glad that he's, just like it shocked me when he sent Kimberly home, because I thought that they had a good connection, the girl that begged to stay.
Week 1, yeah, he said no once.
Oh, gosh, I felt so bad for her. And I was like, I thought that there was a connection. I thought she was beautiful and sweet. And he was like, nope, bye. you know? And so it's like, I'm glad to see that he's not so nice that he doesn't have a backbone. It's good to see him choosy.
So what we said this episode, that we're getting nice. He's too nice of a guy, but now we're starting to see those that teeth. We're starting. He said it. He was quite serious, especially the second half of the episode tonight.
Okay.
I'm here to find a wife.
Yeah.
I'm 33. I'm here to find.
Yeah.
He's very focused.
Yeah.
So I can't wait now for the second half of the season. Once we start getting it, because like we said, he had a hard time letting Jillian go. Well, he knew what he wanted to do, but he had a hard way of actually saying it. I'm wondering what happens in week 8, week 9, when he has to let go of that one girl that that situation that we don't know, a powder keg. What is he going to do? I'm excited. I'm sorry. I want him to find love.
Excited for his discomfort. That's great, JC. You're a good guy. You're a good guy.
I like to see all. Well, I'm sorry. I want to see every aspect of the show, and we're gonna get it this season.
You know what I missed out of this scene though was the suitcase. Like, you always get to see, like, the security guy go into the mansion and grab the suitcase, and all the girls like, no, oh my God, no, he sent her home. You know, like, 3 girls are, like, loner, like, on the couch, and they see it and they alert the house. I miss that. I feel like we were robbed of that, and they kind of didn't. I mean, Becca touched on it a little bit, but it wasn't like seeing the suitcase. The suitcase scenes are classic Bachelor. And
you mentioned it while we were watching. I know.
I got to see the suitcase. Like, I got to see it.
Well, then let's get into some of the stuff that you do like cocktails and roses. Let's get to
and senses. My 5 senses.
Oh, okay.
Even though I can't name them all.
What? Megan was trying something.
I like where she was going with that.
Yeah, because she fell off the radar.
She totally. See, that's what happens. She was first date, second date.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was right after Mackenzie, I think. And she fell off the radar. Britt said she hadn't talked to Chris in a week. That's got to play tricks on your head.
Of course, and that's why we have the Brit episodes.
I know.
Brit, it seems like, I know since this is the cocktail, and this is what stood out to me, that every week Brit needs that reassurance.
Yeah.
Always needs that reassurance.
Well, she's starting to lose it a little bit, and you can't just make out to get a connection. You know, you can't just have the physical without the emotional.
You know, and I've said it before, I'm kind of, it's too early to tell, but I wanted Brit to be in case she didn't win, I want her to be the Bachelorette.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay.
I just want to let you know I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So, we did forget, we did skip Ashley I on the Cocktail and Roses, where she finally breaks down and tells him.
Did she
Chris?
tell him? I think she told him when she was camping.
But no.
I love what she said when she was camping. Hope that when she let out all of her feelings when she was camping, and she goes, I hope that resonates in your mind tonight.
She inferred it. She didn't say it. No.
Oh, wait. Ashley I was talking about Ashley P.
Ashley S.
Ashley S.
Ashley S.
I'm so confused. I can't wait to
What are you?
Yeah. What are you? Ashley
Yes,
S.
that's Ashley S. No.
Okay. Was that the one you were talking? You were talking about I.
Both Ashleys are quite a handful, and
Okay.
I love them. No, I was talking about Ashley I.
Okay.
And how she reveals the fact that she's a virgin.
She took that so far, way out of the park. So dramatic. She was begging for the moment, and she just wanted to make that a bigger thing. I don't know if the producers were in her ears saying,
course.
like, hey, I don't think he understood. Hey, I talked to Chris today in the bathroom, and he didn't say anything about you being a virgin. I think you need to let him know. Like, why is this, like, they haven't even, I wouldn't be talking about this until it came up organically in conversation. Like, I don't know why she needs to broadcast this right before, like, they're not even there yet, unless he's asked her to, for just the tip. And I don't think he has.
You had to bring that, moving on.
Then I would be like, well, no, not the tip. Just the tip means something to me. I'm a virgin. That would be a great time to introduce that.
Thank God it's almost midnight, Jenna. Okay. No, but what I want to explain, that's the big difference between, because she and
She's
Becca.
She's so young.
No, I want to explain the difference between she and Becca. The way that Becca or maybe it's just the way the show is edited.
Becca was not worried about it. Do you see Becca sweating at all? No. She's like... I'm a virgin, not a big deal to me. It hasn't come up.
How beautiful! It's a non. It's a. I don't want to say it's a non-factor, but there are so many more aspects in you as a human, as a person, and
yeah, you're so much more than just being a virgin.
Yeah, and Becca's explained that and shown that beautifully all season.
So I'm a really big Becca fan.
Yeah,
I love her.
Absolutely.
Becca, will you accept my rose?
I know. I think the rate this night's going. Let's definitely finish up with.
What about Carly moving in on her kiss? Man, she's just like kind of forcing it a little bit.
You think so?
A little bit.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I've been waiting for this all night. Like moving his face right to hers. I was like, whoa.
He didn't kiss as many girls tonight as he.
I feel like he did. You just didn't notice it.
I'm just used to last week or the week before he kissed like 7. So
I feel like they just put in a bunch of extra. And then I don't know. What about Britt and their?
When she questioned his motives.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. That
Scary town. We saw Chris the farmer get pissed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's exciting.
He's stepping it up. So maybe Chris is the type, he's a happy-go-lucky, from what we see, very nice guy, very genial guy. But once you start to push him.
He looked offended. I could tell he was offended right when she started talking about it. And girls, I mean, have you not seen The Bachelor? Girls who talk about other girls or other relationships never get that guy.
Cardinal sin. 101.
Ladies,
Come on.
have you forgotten? Like, you cannot talk about other girls. You don't get it. And he even said, I can't believe she used this opportunity, this time that we had, to just sit and question me the whole time. And I was like,
she did back up.
A rookie move.
No, but she did acquiesce. She did take a step back and say, she was just doing it out of concern because she knew she was in too deep already.
Oh, man.
Do you think this really hurts her chances?
She let the emotions get the best of her, man.
Okay, so
I'm surprised he didn't take it out on her, man, but he did take it out on her.
Because she's gorgeous. And okay, I'm sorry, I'm not to be so superficial, but they had that connection from the get.
His little hate speech after that was amazing.
That's what I'm saying.
You're more than welcome to go home at any time if you question my motives. I was like, plus 50 points for Chris. Amazing. I like pissed farmer. I love it. I like seeing that emotion.
No, and so any other thoughts on the cocktail before we get to the roses?
Well, I just wanted to say that Chris expressed his love language, which I think also really speaks to why he's been kissing so many girls. When they were camping, who asked him? I think it was Caitlin. She asked him, how do you feel loved the most? And he said, by touching and feeling. Right. He's an affectionate guy, and she said by words. So she's if you've read the love language, words of affirmation, compliments, constantly being told. And then that was Caitlin's. And then his was physical touch. So you can't hate this guy for speaking his love language.
Okay, so hopefully people, because he gets, like we said, he gets a lot of hate for that.
He's got a bad rap, and he's not he hasn't kissed the most girls in all Bachelor history. There's guys that have had sex with so many girls by this point, like.
Okay, all right.
I'm sure at some point that we just don't know about. Great
point with the love languages. So okay, so Chris,
he said that was his love language. So I think you have to take that in perception when you're watching all this. Like, he is a touchy-feely guy. That's how he feels loved, and that's how he develops love. So testing that out and experimenting, I mean, you can tell that he's very comfortable in the presence of women, touching, holding hands, cuddling, kissing, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm watching the fans even talking about it right now. Everyone, that's all they talk about is how many girls he makes out with. But she's explaining it to you. That's just the way he expresses himself and he receives love. So it's good to know. That's why you are the relationship and intimacy expert. Thank you for that.
Not hating him.
Yeah, so let's move on. So who didn't get roses tonight? We've got, let's see who got roses. Jade, who we love.
Jade. Now Caitlin has been on a rosathon. Okay, she's got a little target on her back because it's very clear that Chris is targeting Caitlin.
Okay, because she's fantastic. I love their Costco date. But moving on, we got to keep going. We got Carly, who we're starting to see more sides of, and Megan, who came back. Who fell off the radar.
Yeah. She came back, yeah.
And Samantha, who I'm dying to know more about Samantha.
I feel so bad for this Samantha because she hasn't had any airtime. If I were her, I was like, what did I just give up 8 weeks for? Because I'm barely on the show.
There's a lot to tell with her.
I would be so sad.
No, that means that's telling you right there. Could she be the Catherine Oh, the Sean Lowe season that
maybe
comes in halfway through the season.
I don't know. I think his bonds are pretty. I didn't see him interact too much with Whitney on their Muck Fest, but I feel like his bonds are kind of. He's putting his seed out.
I'm leaving that one alone.
Yeah.
Okay, so we also got Mackenzie.
Now, Mackenzie, I really like her quirkiness. Her facial expressions are priceless. I'm sure there's going to be like 5,000 memes or whatever those memes with her facial expressions because they're hilarious.
And then Kelsey, who
Kelsey, I'm not loving. After those previews, I'm not loving it.
Yeah, and Becca's...
I'm not loving the faking it. If I didn't love camping, I used to not love camping, and I was very open about it. You've got to be who you are, and just be like, this is just not my habitat,
Earlier on the show, we said the fact that, she's going to have to because he is a farmer and outdoorsy, but but maybe he's the type, maybe we're laying into her a little too quickly because possibly he could be the person that she's okay. She doesn't have to go to the lake with me every week. He can honor her individuality as well. And
if you don't love the lake, there's something deeply wrong with you. The lake is like the most amazing thing in the world.
I was reaching for straws. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Ashley,
Drama.
When Ashley got the rose, did you see the look on her face? I don't know if it's the edit.
She's so dramatic every time. Yeah, every time she gets a rose, she's really dramatic. Like last week when she was like, like when he called her last, and she's like, I told him I like to be called first.
Oh my God! God bless her.
Too much.
God bless her, and of course, then Britt finally in the last one.
I know.
But
he hung her a little bit.
He had to. Okay, and so who did we lose this week? Jillian, goodbye Black Bar, and Nikki, who we barely got to know this week. And
I know Nikki. I just feel like she got robbed. She didn't get enough. I mean, if you go on The Bachelor, you have to get yourself in the game somehow. And unfortunately, she didn't. It sucks.
He just wasn't that into her. Maybe that's the possibility. And then Julia, who. Once again, I thought the way he let her down and let her know he walked her out.
I thought that was a real classy move.
Absolutely. So we're seeing this more and more. We've given Chris such a hard time.
I haven't given him a hard time. Who's you? Not me. You? Me. No.
Other pundits, media people. I'm just kidding. And then, of course, Ashley S.
She had a great ending. She's like, I feel nothing. What I have to say to Chris? Nothing.
I was waiting for this big spiel. I thought I was like boiling bunnies, something.
Even kind of the way she just kind of clasped her hands together and looked at him and gave him a hug. It was kind of... She's definitely an interesting person. I could see where the crazy comes in and then the crazy comes out. And it's just like makes for a really... interesting mix, so.
Can't wait to see her in Bachelor in Paradise.
She would be great. But the great thing about all these girls that get kicked off, they are in an amazing dating pool of like gorgeous people.
That's true. That's true.
Welcome to the family of dating. You will find somebody.
All right.
For one night at least.
Any final thoughts before we move on to predicciones?
No, I just his love language.
Love language?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on. No news and gossip this week, but let's move on to predictions. Was that like a snore in the beginning of that? It sounded weird.
It sounded like a rattlesnake.
Okay. All right, so next week we've got New Mexico.
New Mexico. They've kind of taken a dive. I don't know. Is this Bachelor on a budget this season?
No.
What?
Chris
I'm
is
just saying.
No.
I don't know.
No.
What? Am I a jerk? What's going on?
No, because he's America.
Bachelor on a budget. They've done that a few seasons.
It's not
I feel
Bachelor
like they
on a
have to
budget.
cut back like every other year. It's like a fiscal year thing. I don't know.
I'm sure they're gonna go.
They ran out of money.
No, they didn't. He's the Heartland, the SNL spoof, Farm Hunk. Come on, did you catch that?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Blake Shelton, I love that. That's like I said, you and I had this argument before we went on air. The show's been around long enough that it can poke fun at itself a little bit.
I love it.
Okay, so that SNL skit was fantastic, but let's talk about, you said Bachelor on a budget.
Bachelor on a budget. Predictions. I think Mackenzie's had her ride. So I think we're going to see the end of Mackenzie. I can't wait for the ship to clean up a little bit. It's going to be a tighter ship. The more these girls go, the tighter these bonds become,
I wanted to see where you finished on that one.
I'm just going with it. But I don't know. I see I don't know.
Well,
I see love.
Carly and Chris possibly going.
I don't know. I want that for Carly because she's so sweet, but I don't know. I think she's too much. I didn't really like her speech last week. I'm a woman and you're a man, so I'm going in for this. Like, kiss. And I'm like, she's kind of awkward with the moves. I think she's got a good heart, but it's a little awkward. So I don't know if she's got, you've got to have kind of a mystique about yourself, like a kind of like a sex factor. Guys have swag, girls got to have that too. I don't see any of that there. So I don't know if she can really carry Chris.
It looked to the fact that maybe something they got really hot and heavy in the previews, and I'm thinking, could this be, because we keep hearing that something goes down this season.
It is, it's the exact opposite. So it definitely wasn't her, Carly. It's somebody else.
Okay, and then Kelsey the villain, and then of course, what happened to Britt? We see Britt.
I think
laid out on. I mean, medics tending to her. What's going on there?
Unfortunately, I feel like when you start with fireworks, and you start with those volcano, like fiery, crazy, gushing feelings, there's really nowhere to go after that, And so these people that have had these, quick fire relationships are going to start to fizzle because there's so much more to a relationship. And I think that's unfortunately where Britt's going to find herself.
Especially in the fishbowl, which is the Bachelor.
Because there's a lot of girls. I'm not saying that she doesn't have substance. I think she's got a lot of substance. I don't think they're going to find each other on the right page. I don't think they're going to actually align emotionally very well.
So maybe perhaps that's where we could see maybe Samantha come in.
Yeah, or maybe he's just aligning better with other girls. I feel like there's a interest in Becca, Caitlyn for sure, But I feel like he kind of resonates with these goody-good girls, like the Whitneys, the Beccas, I think Caitlyn might have a little too much rah-rah-rah for him. Like, he's just a little farmer dude.
Yeah, I think we said that last week, too. I think some little too much. So let us know what you think happens next week. So, once again, Jenna, thank you so much for bringing this to us
so
this
much
week.
Fun.
Yes,
love
absolutely.
listening to your podcast when I'm not here.
Nice.
Love your panel.
Always welcome
love
back.
Kathy,
Yes, and of course, Jenna, where can they find you?
I'm at Jenna Time Tweets.
And Steven, I forgot to shout you out, man. Thank you so much for putting up with us. Where can they find you?
You can find me here.
Okay.
Here.
And you can find me at JC Rubio TV on Instagram and Twitter. And don't forget, if you haven't had a chance or if this is your first time at AfterBuzz, subscribe. Subscribe on youtube.com/AfterBuzz TV or go to iTunes and SoundCloud and check out over 400 of our other TV series we've covered. We're here for you. And of course, catch us next time. See ya.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
That's different.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.